Welcome back to the channel. This is the Earth Science Classroom. This is a video series on the Pacific Ring of Fire, looking at the tectonics and the interconnected system around the edge of the Pacific Ocean. Now, this video is going to focus on a small section, which is South America. Look at the tectonics and the plates involved in this part of the system. This is the Earth Science Classroom. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to look in detail at the South American portion of the Pacific Ring of Fire. This is the final video in the series, which started out on the opposite side in Oceania and Australasia, looking at the area of the Pacific Ring of Fire around Antarctica and New Zealand. And we are back to complete the series on the other side. So we're going to start at the northern part with the Cocos-Nazca Spreading Center, which protrudes west from Central America and joins up in the Triple Junction, the complex area which involves the East Pacific Rise, the divergent plate boundary, and also the spreading center is divergent and separates the Cocos Plate with the Nazca Plate, and both of these plates are oceanic and are going to create convergent plate boundaries along the Central American and South American coastlines. Then we have the divergent plate boundary of the East Pacific Rise continuing south through the Pacific Ocean and turning into the Pacific Antarctic Ridge as it borders the Antarctic Plate to the south. And we have the Chile Rise, which is similar and kind of parallel to the Cocos-Nazca Spreading Center, but separates the Nazca Plate from the Antarctic Plate. And this, again, creates a triple junction further south with the East Pacific Rise and moves eastward towards the coastline of southern Chile, or Chile. So that is the divergent plate boundaries on this section. We're looking at now the convergent, where two plate boundaries or more are colliding and moving towards each other. And we have the Ecuador-Colombia Trench, which is going to be a subduction zone and turn into the Peru-Chile Trench as it moves south over these countries and their geographic regions or areas. And this moves south parallel to the South American coastline of Peru and northern Chile, and then turns into the Chile Trench as it goes south along the extremely long coastline of this beautiful country until it reaches the southern point close to Cape Horn and ends on the western coastline of southern Chile and turns into two separate fracture zones. The first is the North Scotia Ridge, a transform plate boundary, and the other one is the Shackleton Fracture Zone, which then creates the Scotia Plate, and below it a smaller microplate called the Drake Plate. And this Scotia Plate is moving slowly to the west and creates boundaries with the Antarctic Plate, the South American Plate, and the South American Plate. Now, as you can see from this map, the South American Plate, this very large continental plate, is the main boundary to the east, which is creating this convergence. However, the Nazca Plate and the Cocos Plate and also the Antarctic Plate are all subducting underneath the South American Plate. The last piece of this puzzle in this section of the Pacific Ring of Fire are the multiple ridges that are formed at an angle somewhat perpendicular to the subduction zone and trenches along the convergent plate boundary between the Nazca Plate and Cocos Plate and Antarctic Plate. Now, these ridges are intraplate volcanism, where you have plume activity and you have thrusting of the oceanic crust up and creating a line along the ocean floor, indicating the direction and size of each of these intraplate volcanisms and each one of these ridges as they migrate and morph and evolve over the ocean floor throughout geologic time. And this is related to flat slab tectonics in terms of the angle of the subducting slab under the less or lighter plate as it subducts. There are multiple ridges up in the Cocos Plate, but we're focusing on the southern section, which starts with the Nazca Ridge, kind of in the middle of the Nazca Plate, then the Oquiqua Ridge, the Tal Ridge, Copiapo Ridge, and the Juan Fernandez Ridge, which is one of the largest ridges in this tectonic region. And these ridges tell a story about the thin or thickness of the oceanic plates, the movement, and the underlying volcanic and magmatic activity ongoing under the plate as they move towards the convergent plate boundary. This is the Earth Science Classroom. Thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. And if you get a chance to like and subscribe, that stuff really helps the channel. Thank you so much. And see you again in a future video.